Hi everyone, happy Thanksgiving. I don't know if we're gonna have a large audience tonight because it is Thanksgiving. So let's just see who joins and we'll take it from there. It's American Thanksgiving. So I just want to see how many people have joined, and if we don't have our regular crowd, maybe we'll finish earlier tonight. We'll see how it goes. Happy Thanksgiving. If you're celebrating, you should always be celebrating Thanksgiving, okay? Everything we have, we were given in a sense, right? You think you have very little, but even that little that you have is because you have 2 arms, 2 legs, you're able to work, you're able to function in the world, and all of these are gifts. You didn't make them yourself. So let's remember Thanksgiving, what we're giving thanks, staying in gratitude. Everything manifests from a state of accepting the present now. Just today I did a video, and look, like a lot of people wish that today was different, right? Wherever you are in life, you always wish it were different. But the fact is that today you have to accept, in order to change today, you have to accept that today is the perfect manifestation of all your past thoughts, desires, wants, needs, that you have expressed, that you've spoken about, that you felt about. So they all brought you to today. If you have a different goal slide in mind for the future, now the future you don't know, and that future is going to manifest. But if you have a different goal slide in mind, go ahead and visualize that, but understand that today is the manifestation of the goal slides that you played in your mind over and over and over again, right? So if you don't accept that, I don't think you can manifest, right? Because how can you? If everything up to today wasn't up to you, how can all of a sudden the future be up to you? And this is the irony, and the absolute acceptance that today you have created is very important in order for your subconscious to believe you can create tomorrow. Thanks, Chris. Thanks for the compliments. It's not necessary, guys, but thank you very much, and thanks for tuning in. Okay, if you're getting the 60-day challenge, and if you're doing the challenge with us, if we're working with us, if you want to start reprogramming your mind to a different future, okay, I've made this product available for everybody. The cost is nominal, but it is value for value, so that's why I put a cost on it. You must download an editable Excel file. Like some people are telling me, I got it, but mine is not editable. Should I just print it? No, just email me and I will send you the proper Excel file, but it is an Excel file. So if you don't have Excel, it's hard to do on the phone, or, you have to have a computer to do it. Please, guys, commit to yourself. Commit to being like, yes, I'm going to be in front of my computer for 15 minutes a day, setting up my mind right. Do that for yourself. Okay, so if you didn't get the editable Excel file, I'm happy to send it to you. Just send me your proof of purchase. Also, I never contact anyone. That's how I keep all my feed pretty pure, right? So you always know if you heard from me, it's not me, it's a scammer account. Unfortunately, these come with just being out there on the internet. They figure it out and they open scammer accounts. So please do not, if you hear from me, I don't sell anything. I don't contact you for anything. I don't offer discounts, promotions, tarot card readings, or anything like that. That's not what I'm about. This account is about mindset and manifestation. My lives are educational. I sell only one product, which is the 60-day challenge, and a membership to a group for those who want to do it. And we take it from there, and we're there for each other every single day. That's the idea behind the Facebook group. That's the idea. We share success stories. We don't emotionally dump on one another. We're just there to inspire. Thanks for tuning in, even though it's Thanksgiving. And I know the majority of people watch this on YouTube. All of my lives are posted on YouTube the day after. So tomorrow it will be posted on YouTube. I'm under the same handle as I am here at Finer Manifestation with a PH. So we're also going to talk about, I made a 1-page downloadable file. It's available in my link for free. I made it yesterday, and it's because people keep asking me, how do I identify my limiting beliefs? How do I know what's in my subconscious? And I told you guys, our subconscious is not really hidden from us, right? They make it seem complicated, but it's not complicated. It's not hidden from us. So our subconscious contains the answers to all the questions of what is right in your life and what is wrong in your life, right? So why am I single? Why am I broke? Why am I sick? Why am I fat if I want to be skinny? All of these questions, their answers are in your subconscious. It's what you think. It's not, there's no real answers to why, it's only what you think. That's what has manifested. So if you're wondering, what are my limiting beliefs? All you got to do is ask yourself these questions. Why are things the way they are in my world? Why are they? Why do I feel this way? Why do I feel like crap right now? Why do I, and sort of unpack it and see what's out there, what's in there rather. And remember, your dreams will be key. As part of this work, everybody who's doing the challenge with me has reported, even if they didn't dream before, they're back to dreaming. And I actually, in the Facebook group, I have a pin that's called Dream Pin, because everybody has so much to report. Hey, what does this strange dream mean? And I answer some of them. Of course, like if I don't know you, I wouldn't really know the answer to why do they happen. But it's always, there's a message there. And I actually had a very interesting dream myself last night. And in my dream, like I have a goal in mind, right? By the way, you should always have goals. And once you achieve your goal, replace it with a different goal. So I have like this new goal in mind that I've been working towards for the last few months. And sort of like in my dream, I was talking to somebody and I told them, this is where I'm at, something like this, like at a number, but really like my goal is at a different number. And so when I woke up, what I realized is that my subconscious did not yet understand the instruction that I gave, right? Because in my dream, I'm telling somebody, this is what reality is. And I used the thing that is factual in this reality, in 3D. So my subconscious hasn't yet registered that my goal is different than where things are today. So dreams are very important that way. You know what I mean? It shows you where you're at. It shows you what's about to manifest. It shows you what manifests. And, you have a bad dream about your ex. Thank you. Why is your ex still in your subconscious, right? So the number one step is understanding what's in there. And again, it's not like some hidden, completely obscure thing. And there might be, right? Because there might be things you've observed in childhood that were traumatic, that you pushed down. But for the majority of us, they're just the answers to these questions. Like, why is the world the way it is? So I was saying, I put this limiting beliefs guide out there in my link. It's not a guide, it's just a page. And I have it broken down. These are like kind of anti-affirmations, right? It's like, what is it about my love life? What is it about my work? What is it about money? What is it about my body? What are the beliefs right now, today, that may prevent me from manifesting whatever I want, right? So I kind of wrote it, for example, money doesn't grow on trees, money is evil, I would need to sacrifice a lot more of my time to make more money, all of these beliefs that we have about money. And I have them for the body, I have them for other areas of life, right? So I put it out there and it's for free. If you want to get it, like a few hundred people already got it. So if you want to get it, please get it now, because I'm only going to leave it up until Sunday. And the reason I'm going to leave it up until Sunday is because it's a lot of admin, getting these emails. Oh, this person downloaded this person, and then, I have to deal with that. Sorry, I got to drink some water. I think like my throat's acting up. What are you guys doing for Thanksgiving? I have like something in my throat. I'll talk less. Let me take a question or two. Yeah, you're very welcome, Queen. And what I say in this guide is like, I have like a chart, and add your own columns. Delete what doesn't apply to you and put more columns and more rows in there. Because I'm sure if you think about it for like 3 to 4 days, you're going to have a lot of stuff to put in there. Unfortunately. And I told my group about it, and my group downloaded it, and people commented, oh my God, I didn't even realize this wasn't there. But yeah, this is a belief of mine. This is just something that, I've observed, or I always thought, and yeah, it's manifesting. Is it true when you energetically let go of an ex, they come back? Could you explain the science behind it? It's not always true. Sometimes they just move on. We know this from real life, right? But unfortunately, when you energetically let go of somebody, you don't exactly know if you've energetically let go of someone when you break up, right? Because the relationship ends socially when you decide or he decides to end it. But energetically, the karma, or karma is the wrong word. I don't like to use the word karma. Guys, please don't call me. I don't take calls during my life. Unfortunately, the energetic connection doesn't sever when we say, hey, this thing is over, right? This is why all the connections that we make and all the people we touch physically, they all form a part of our energy field and our energy system. I wish it wasn't like this, but it's clearly like this. So if your ex was a person who was an energy vampire and was feeding off your energy, again, many of the times, these aren't things that people consciously do. But if he was, sensing that energetic disconnection from you towards him will make him crave that, even subconsciously, right? But this only happens in certain cases when indeed he was feeding off your energy system. So perhaps is that, I don't know if that's the science behind it, but magic is just science we don't yet understand. Right? Science doesn't know everything. At every point in time, science always thought, I know everything. The earth is flat and everything that science believed up to a few hundred years ago, then they changed their mind. Now they're changing. Remember in the 90s, it was only 5% of the DNA does something. The rest is called junk DNA. Maybe I'm dating myself. But that's what they used to say. And so now they, of course, discovered that it's not junk at all. The more they look into it, the more they understand what it does. And so science will just keep up, and eventually all the energy systems will be noted and discussed scientifically. But until they understand how it works, probably it won't. Let's see. How do I keep the work to myself if I live with my partner? I don't know if you're the same person that asked me this question on email, but I have somebody that said, I noted down because I promised her I would answer. I know that you share not to talk about this work with anyone. In my personal life, I live with my partner. How can I avoid talking about the work? For example, at night we watch TV, and I noticed that you suggest to eliminate watching TV at night during this challenge, which is something I'm excited to do. How do I let him know without letting him know too much? Well, Queen, this is the thing. In order to do this work for yourself, you have to decide you're going to live more for yourself. And this means you're going to have to start to say no to certain things that you were doing before, right? The same thoughts, the same actions lead to the same results. So if you want something to change in your life or in your relationship or in your money situations, you have to now decide to say no to certain things that you used to do. And it doesn't matter that you used to do them with your partner and he's expecting that from you. You can maybe just, I don't know what type of relationship you have, but I don't see why in any relationship you wouldn't be able to say, I just decided to not watch so much TV anymore. And I would rather meditate right now, and go to your room or go to the bedroom and do your own thing while he watches TV, right? You're not twins, right? You're not joint twins. You're basically two separate people still, even if he's your partner. And don't feel obligated to do whatever it is he does. And also don't obligate him to do whatever it is you do in every single aspect of your life, right? Choose something different than what today presents. I think this is very important, right? It's you can't go to the next step unless you change something. And not too much explanation is needed. It's just like, I'm doing things a bit differently right now. And this doesn't just apply to partners. It applies to friends you go out with, right? You're going to say, I'm not really into doing this right now. I'm doing some other work, some self-discovery. I'm working through some stuff right now, and see how they react. See if they shame you. See if they ridicule you. See if, these friendships actually have meaning in your life. Because a true friend or true partner would say, wow, I'm so proud that you're doing this work on yourself. But you don't have to tell them specifically, I'm doing affirmations and I'm doing this and I'm working with Mona and I'm working with this group, keep this part to yourself. You know, keep this area of your life sort of private, not hidden, right? Like I'm working on myself without giving the details. That's what I would suggest. The challenge is available in my bio, Queen. It's a 60 days group energy exercise where you affirm for yourself and for others. Okay, let's see. You're very welcome. Let me see what else I wrote down for us to talk about. Again, the limiting belief identifier will be available until, I'm going to leave it up until Sunday. I don't know what I had in my throat. I hope I'm not coming down with anything. Do you just do email coaching? No, I do a one-on-one Zoom. I don't do email coaching with anybody I haven't seen on Zoom, because for me to give you advice about your personal life, I have to see you in face to face. I have to understand who you are and read your energy system. So it's very clearly stipulated there that you have to have had a one-on-one session with me on Zoom before you book the email coaching. But some people just prefer email because we can do a few emails within the same time period that we do a call, and you might want to save some. That's why I made that available. Okay, let's talk about work and money. The lack mentality, okay, it's always, I have a lot of people who come with this lack mentality, and I want to help you identify it. The lack mentality is always the question, what is it that I can get from others? And this others can be your job, this others can be your clients, this others can be your partner, men you're dating, women you're dating. It's always this mentality that what is it that you can squeeze out of the situation that would have financial benefit for you? And if you approach situations and relationships from this perspective, yes, you might get something out of them, but in the end, do not be surprised when it all collapses, or when you run out of money, or when, you know, you can always get money, but it always seems to leave. Like you can never retain it, right? Because in order to keep the money and to have a lot of money, what you need to do is something else. What you really need to do is ask, how can you contribute, right? And you don't have to ask them that, but you have to ask yourself, right? Because when you ask them that, it's not even sincere, right? Oh, what is it that I can do for you? No. Ask yourself, today I woke up, what is it that I can give to my job, to my work, to my coworkers, to my boss, to make their day better, easier, more productive? And if you sincerely have this attitude, what is it that I can give my partner so that, you know, his day is easier? In which ways can I contribute? I promise you, if you approach your financial situation from what is it that I can contribute? What is it that I can contribute to the homeless? To, you know, to give to others, right? If I want to contribute my time to others, that means I have to have the financial backing to do that. And I know the universe will resolve the financial backing if I just put out there that my time I want to dedicate to contributing to others, if I sincerely think that. So I want you guys to think about, are you thinking from the lack mentality? What is it that I can squeeze out of the situation? Or are you thinking from the mentality of what is it you contribute? It's very important, this distinction, because right now, between now and Christmas, I told my group we're working on money and money mindset and manifestation. So this is why I'm giving you this tip. Carla says, I noticed suggested book list is no longer in your, do you recommend Psycho-Cybernetics? Psycho-Cybernetics by, is it by Dr. Joseph Murphy? I heard about this book many times, but it's actually one of them that I haven't read yet. A lot of people read it and recommend it. I know it's a book from back in the day, and I don't see why you wouldn't read it. I'm not sure what happened to the link because I don't actually manage the store. Like I have an admin that manages that store thing. Maybe they just discontinued it, disconnected it. I'll tell them to put it back up, because I had a book list for the books that were kind of basic about manifestation and mindset, and the ones more advanced. Let me just review that book list that I have and I'll put it back up. I have so many books and I've read hundreds of books on the topic. This is the distilled version. Okay, they've helped me a lot, obviously. I was able to manifest really well in every area of my life. And I wouldn't be here if every area of my life was not something that I'm very grateful for. But it's hard to say this one book changed me or this other book changed me. It's all of it together. It's, you know, when you have that moment that something clicks, but maybe you read the same idea in 10 different books, but it's just that one time when your brain finally gets it. It's like that. This knowledge is like that. It needs to sediment in your mind. It needs to make connections with the 3D world. It needs to, there isn't like one book, one mantra, it's not like that. The mind doesn't work like that, right? Maybe it would work like that if you raised the kids in vacuum without society and you gave them one book to read over and over and over again. That would be their idea about life. But that's not how we're educated, and it's not how society works. Can we manifest peace in the world? Of course we can. In order to manifest peace in the world, all it takes is for every human being on this planet to just refuse to kill another human being on this planet. That's all it takes. Like, I would not kill anyone. And so if everybody in the world makes that decision, we would have peace in the world. Greetings from Costa Rica. Hi. I like that. You're very welcome. Let's see. I appreciate you and your videos. They come when I need them. Always synchronicity at its best. The universe always finds ways to speak to us. You know, when you're ready, there's that very famous saying, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. So it's like this. If you're guided towards a certain type of information, a point in your life where you know that you're ready, then the information will present itself. And that's how manifestation works in general, right? It works by basically, you don't know the how, but somehow, like slowly, step by step, you're directed to the next step and the next step and the next step. And you're like, my God, how did I, yeah, now looking back, this makes sense. But if somebody asked you, how are you going to do this? You couldn't have predicted. You couldn't, that's the unknown, right? You, in a way in which you didn't expect, you couldn't have predicted, you couldn't have known. Oh, you're very welcome, Amber. Thank you so much for the compliments, guys. Not necessary, but thank you so much. I just want to see if I missed anything. If not, I'm going to go into my second story. You're teaching me to stop saying financially free. Financially free is not a good idea. If you don't know why I say the videos, my latest few videos, because I'm staying on money. But this story tonight, again, I apologize about my throat. This story tonight is this queen. So I didn't talk to her on a one-on-one call, so I don't know all the details of the story, but I know sort of the high level. She's doing the 60-day challenge, and she was manifesting an SP that she was with this person, let's say for a few years. I don't know exactly how many, but let's say 2 to 3 years. And 8 months ago, they broke up. And so she started doing all sorts of work to reconnect with him without directly wanting to reconnect with him. Nothing was working. She came to this work. She was doing the work. She felt really good. He connected with her. Maybe I want to say 2 months ago, okay? So 6 months after they broke up. But she actually sent me the email conversation that they had. And in the conversation, he was saying something along the lines, I drove by your house. I really missed you. I just miss you. And she's like, okay, well, I miss you too, but what is different? Right? And he wouldn't say anything. He's like, oh, maybe we can talk. She's like, yeah, we can talk, but only if something changed. And then he kind of like ghosted, you know? So I said, leave it alone because it will unfold whatever advice I gave her. I don't want to say exactly. So I hear back from her. This is not necessarily in, gosh, why am I still getting calls? Guys, please don't call me. I don't take calls during my live. So I'm going to read to you what she says. Actually, I'm not going to read what she said. But basically, she said, I looked on Facebook last night and he got married last weekend. He got married to somebody else last weekend. So she wasn't following him on Facebook. She randomly checked. Okay. So I told her to say, tell the universe, tell the universe. Okay, so as a number one step. Okay, so I guess you have something better in store for me, just as a step number one, and then put it aside. But I want to unpack this situation for the group and sort of to see it as a positive. Yes, Lily, I know it's sad in the moment, but here's the type of man this was. So he was going with her for a few years, okay? Then within the last 8 months, between the time they broke up to today, it's only been 8 months. 2 months ago, he contacted her saying, I drove by your house and I miss you. And she said, okay, what's different? Let's talk about it. He just wanted to come in, get it? But okay, she asked him what's different and he ghosted. Okay, so that's 2 months. In those 6 months, he met someone, or he was maybe dating her. He proposed to this person, because 2 months ago, he was surely engaged if last weekend he got married, right? Because you can't plan a wedding in 2 months. I'm unpacking the analytics of the situation, okay? So 2 months ago when he contacted her, he was already engaged. He must have been. Are you guys with me? Okay? So in the 6 months between the time they broke up to the time he drove by this person's house, this queen, he was already with this woman that he was going to propose to, already proposed to her. He was already engaged, let's face it. And so when she asked him, which was based on my general advice that I give you guys, when your ex comes back, when your SP comes back, if he's an ex, always ask, what is it different? What is different? Like, why would I let you? Because I'm different. I've been doing the work. But what is it different with you? That's the question, right? So when she asked him that, he ghosted. But he was driving around her house for what? Oh, I miss you. Maybe I can come in. He was engaged to somebody else, right? She didn't know that at the time. But it's a reasonable speculation to think that he was, if he got married last weekend. So think about the situation that this queen has been saved from, right? Right now, you don't see it as a blessing. You don't see it. Queen, if you're watching this, I know it is really difficult to have tried to manifest someone and end up in this situation. He married somebody else. As a practical advice, I told all my queens, when you're dating a man and you're not 20, you're not 21, you're like any age after 25, 26. After a year, you got to know where the relationship is going. You cannot be dating somebody for 3-4 years when you're starting dating them when you're 26, 28, 32, 38, 42, whatever age you are. Okay? You cannot, because I guarantee you that if after a year he hasn't given you a clear indication that this relationship is going towards marriage, it doesn't mean he has issues. It means, just like in the case of this queen, that there will be another woman that he will propose to in the 6 months, which he did, right? And then he's a type of man. What does he do? He goes around and drives around the house of this queen and says, I really miss you. I want to talk. She asks him for what's different. He doesn't want to say it because what's different is that he's engaged to someone else. This guy's gross, okay? When you take an objective look at this situation, and she's writing in her manifestation that I'm happily married. That's the outcome. I told you guys, keep it on the outcome. I'm happily married. I'm married to the man of my dreams. I'm married to a guy who's always going to be there for me. This is not the guy. And you guys just have to accept that, right? You guys just have to accept that sometimes the energy match is not, there's people whose energy is very, very grounded in whether it's good or bad, right? Usually people who put a lot of value on things of the world, like sexual things, like food, like elements of the earth, right? Who are not really in their mind, in their head that much. Those people have very grounded energy. And those people, yes, you can affect them, would work like spell-like. But you see, what's going to happen is they're always going to default back, right? This is everybody who's manifested their ex 5 times over can attest to this and can probably attest to the fact that this is like an element of the earth kind of man. I don't know how to call it, but do you understand what I'm telling you? So I want to tell you a personal story now. This is not going to make you feel better in any way, but it's sort of like, it's not a similar story, but it's a story. I had an ex in university, and we broke up also in university. This was a long time ago. And then I didn't see this guy, but I really like thought at the time I might marry him, you know, like it was like I had a passionate love for him. And so I didn't see this guy until maybe 8 or 9 years later. I didn't know anything about him. Something super tragic happened to somebody that we knew in common. It was like a really close friend of his. And I reached out to him at this point and I said something along the lines, I heard, you know, ex passed away in this tragic accident and whatever. And he said, let's have lunch. Again, we didn't see each other for about 8 years. And so I didn't know anything about him. This guy was never online, anything like that. So when we met, I found out, to make a long story short, he was married. His wife has had 2 miscarriages by this point. He was like, oh yeah, she's devastated. We were very close friends in university, so he was able to tell me these things. He also told me as a mistress. He also told me he feels very bad about it, especially in the fact that, you know, in the context of his wife having miscarriages. And then when he walked me to my car, he tried to kiss me. I kid you guys not. Okay, and I was like, by this point, I was so disgusted by this story, right? I was like, you know, I'm eating my lunch and I'm like, what the hell am I doing here with this guy after all these years, right? And then I just realized all those times when I was thinking, maybe I'll get back with him, maybe, you know, and the fact that he married someone else was such a blessing, right? Queen in this story with this guy who married someone else in like 6 months since you were broken up. I want you to know that sometimes you have an energy protection on you. And this guy is engaged to the woman that he married last weekend, and he drove by your house and wanted to come in your house. Do you think, what are the odds this guy is going to cheat on his wife? What are the odds, do you think? I would say the odds are 100%. Yeah, exactly. You dodged a bullet. And because you leveled up and you're doing this work, the universe will not match you up with this man, ever. Okay, just like I was saved from the university guy. Okay, you understand what I'm saying? I know it hurts today, but when you're gonna look back, you know, 10 years from now, and you're going to be with a man who adores you, you're gonna be like, my God, I dodged such a bullet. That's the story, guys. That's the story. You know, you're asking, can you completely modify the personality of a person through this work? In my opinion, no, you cannot. What you can do is change yourself. And we talked about this before. If the reason he didn't want you was because you didn't reflect, he saw something in you, but you weren't quite there. And while leveling up on this work, he now feels that pull. He will come back and be with you, but that's only if he was already a great version of him, but just didn't feel like you were the perfect match for him. And as you changed, he realized, yes, she is the one. And then he'll come back. Now, if he's completely with bad intention, using you, knowing he's never going to marry you, dating you for 3 years, meanwhile marry somebody else in 6 months, he's not going to return that way. And by the way, guys, I know that when you're in love, it feels like you're never going to be in love again. And of course, we all know we will be in love again. How do I know this? It's because I still remember that feeling when I first fell in love when I was like 15 and a half. And I still, like, looking back now, I know that was real love. And I know when that didn't work out and I was, 16, I thought I would just, like, my world is over. I'll never love somebody again. I never, I would never, how could I ever feel this way? But guess what? I did. And I did a few times. You know what I mean? That's the reality of things. There will be people in this world that we can vibe with, right? But as women, as you go through life, as you mature, and as you're looking for a life partner, the things you have to be looking for in a life partner are so much more than that feeling. Of course, you should be in love. Of course, you should love that person on some level, right? At least on some level. And ideally, you'd be in love. But if you ignore the practicality of the relationship, everything is going to come crashing down from that feeling. But I promise you, you will be in love again. And you will be, but if you do the filtering the way that you're supposed to do the filtering, based on how you've leveled up, I promise you, you're going to meet the type of guy who you will not only feel this way about, but you will fall in love more and more each day just based on seeing how he is with you and how good he treats you. I promise you that. Let's see. How can I manifest a good woman with traditional values, Mona? Well, Chris, are you a traditional man? Are you a protector, provider, and prioritizer? What do you think? You know, I tell women, okay, and I always told men on my relationship account, you have to be a protector, provider, and prioritizer. You know, the woman has to be your priority. And if you answered yes to all of these questions, then we can take the conversation to the next level. But what happens is a lot of men these days, they're sometimes not even one of those things, let alone all three. Yet they want a traditional woman. And look, what I tell women is, gosh, how do I have to turn off. Guys, please don't call me. I don't take calls during my live. I tell women, you always have to, like, the man that comes into your life has to change your life somehow. Okay, for the better, obviously. Has to be a value add to your life. And if he's not a value add to your life, the relationship is not going to work out, or you're going to become resentful, or you're going to meet somebody else and you're going to be like, why did I settle for this guy? Or so what is it that you want in your life has to be very, very clear to you as a woman, right? And as a woman, because men are more definitive about this. How do I know? It's because they're able to marry women in 6 months when they recognize that which they want, right? But us women, we're like, oh, maybe it's okay if I, I don't know, go 50-50 on the household expenses. Maybe it's okay if he, talks to other women and, meets them for dinner after work. Maybe it's okay. These are his longtime friends. Maybe it's not that bad that he prefers to spend all his time with his friends and doesn't really make time for me. Maybe it's okay he misses a day of checking up on me and he doesn't text me for a couple of days. But the idea is, if you don't come in knowing exactly what is okay and not okay, and you're trying to figure it out along the way, or you're trying to accept, you're going to go from one compromise to another compromise to another compromise. So nothing works. Okay, then you're going to become bitter and jaded and damaged in your heart, right? And so you're not going to be able to offer a high value man, and by high value I don't mean high income, a high value man who's able to add value to your life. You're not going to bring the best of you in this relationship, because now you're going to have trust issues. Now you're going to have all sorts of issues that it's only because you gave in this compromising relationships that you're here, right? So it's almost like a guy who would come in and would say, I want to be your protector, provider, prioritizer. You're like, what's wrong with this guy? Like something's off. I must be, like I have to see, like, what is it? Like, how can he, it's a self-worth issue. Because right now you're like, how is it that all those guys left me or took advantage of me, but now this guy wants to do these things? It must not be real, right? Like, your self-worth is so low that sometimes there's that question in your mind, like, this is too good to be true, and you end up ruining it. So to answer Chris's question, okay, Chris, I don't know if you answered my question. If you are that man, he didn't answer my question. If you are that man, okay, you should have no problem finding a traditional valued woman. And I think more women are realizing that this idea that they've been selling us, that, we have to be equal. Yeah, we're equal in human rights, but we don't actually want equality. What we want is fairness, right? Fairness, to be recognized for all the extra responsibilities that we have. Even if those responsibilities don't involve children, right? Like, we have to look after ourselves. Think about it, how, many times I think, look, I think period pads should be covered by the government. because that's an extra expense that I have that a man doesn't have. I know that's a ridiculous example, but I honestly think about that. And how can I have equality when I go through all this pain and expense, and sometimes I can't get out of bed for half a day? You know, like, how guys don't go through that. So where's the fairness in that? So there's nothing he can do to make it equal there. You see what I mean? Like, I feel like I'm deviating with this conversation, but what we want is to feel like we are protected, provided, and prioritized. I don't know how much better I can say it or more clear I can say it, but that's what I mean. Let's see, feminine energy, exactly. Let's see. You love my stories, thank you. Yeah, hormones up and down. We go through a lot, guys. We go through a lot, like a lot more, and we're not built to be physically as strong as them, right? So you're welcome, Chris. I hope my answer was able to clarify a few things. I want to stay more on the practical tips tonight. Let's see, we talked about this. I'm going over my notes. I always have notes for this lives because I don't want to, I want to make them educational. Okay, and I have one more story. Again, I'm gonna paraphrase it. She was dating him for 2.5 to 3 months, and they were in touch every day, and it was strong passion. I can't believe I met someone like you. I can't believe I met someone like you. And everything's going really well. And all of a sudden, he starts missing days. So he goes from contacting 5 times. Oh, my throat is killing me. Goes from, contacting her like 5 times a day to missing a day. Okay, so the first time she tells him, oh, what happened to you yesterday? And he's like, oh, I just got really busy at work. And you know, the next time it happens, she's like, okay, I gotta communicate with you because I want to tell you that we can't have this, right? Like, I can't be with you and you don't check up on me, you don't check. And he's like, again, oh yeah, I'm sorry. And then he does it a 3rd time. And then she decides this is off because it feels off. So this is like in their 4th month together, let's say. And so, you know, she's asking me like, what do you think about this? What do you think about the story? Here's the thing. I think that in general, thanks guys. It's not necessary to send all these things. I don't know. I think they cost money. It's not necessary. Thank you so much. I think the way a relationship starts and goes a certain way, the guy has to maintain consistency in his behavior. And if he doesn't, he's not going to have consistency in the relationship. So it doesn't really matter if you've been seeing him for 2 weeks or 2 months, right? Because the way he's behaved after your first date, I want to say, like, not if you're talking to him online or if you have an online relationship. The way he behaves after your first date, after first date doesn't really count. But after you've had that meal and you chatted, whether he calls you the same night or texts you the same night, whether he checks up if you got home okay, whether he asks you out again right away or not, all of that behavior has to stay consistent. Because why? All of that behavior is even the reason why you're seeing him again, right? So all of a sudden, like, it's a build up to that. And if all of a sudden, if he's decided to invest in you and all of a sudden, you know, he's missing a day of checking up on you, well, that doesn't really, that's not consistent to the reasons why you decided to date him, right? If those were the reasons. Now, if he met you and he only texted you every other day and you're cool with something casual because you want to see other guys anyways, and you're not ready for marriage, and you're not, that's totally cool if he doesn't check up on you. But if he all of a sudden begins to display this inconsistency, things are not going in the right direction and you are just wasting your time. Now, if you dump him when this behavior happens, okay, there's two things are going to happen. Number one, he's going to let it go because he wasn't planning to continue for much longer anyways, or he was planning to continue with you, keep you on the side and have other things going on, or he will be like, holy shit, if I do this, she means it. she means it. She's not gonna let it go. Like, I'm gonna lose her. So then he's going to stop doing it. But in this case, because he had already done it 2 times, and the 3rd time I agreed with her, she had to be out of there. Because she was questioning herself. She's like, what do you think? We felt this passion and we felt this. And this is one of those times when I tell you, you cannot just go on how you feel, like that you felt a passion. Because you can feel a passion with somebody that's going to be completely incompatible from the perspective of your lives together, especially later in life, right? Like when you want to have kids, maybe he doesn't want that. Maybe he wants to focus on his work and going out and sleeping in, and none of that is compatible with the life with kids. Or if you already have kids or he has kids, it has to work from a practical perspective so much more than from a passion perspective. And unfortunately, what happens is we do go for that passion because in this world we're so flatlined, I think, in terms of emotion, and we're so starved for emotion that when we encounter it, it's like, oh my God, that's the one for me because I feel this way, right? But like I said before, the way you feel is really like, you have to understand, it's sometimes the way you vibrate, the way your whole energetic system vibrates, and if it meets somebody that resonates with the same energy and the same vibration, the fact that you vibrate together, that's all that feeling means. It means your systems, your energetic systems at this point in time are compatible. This could be a person that if you met them 10 years before, you wouldn't feel this way. Or 10 years from now, you wouldn't feel this way. At this point in time, you are in positive resonance, right? But you cannot go by that. You cannot go by that. You have to go by the practicality first. That would be my, and do not make compromises. Do not accept inconsistent behavior. Do not make compromises on the things that you know are important. You know what you can compromise on? What we're gonna eat tonight. He wants to eat Chinese food and you feel like eating, I don't know, fried rice. Once in a while make a compromise for him because, he's the one you love, so who cares what you eat tonight? Who cares if you left the toilet seat up or down? Those aren't important things in life. But you're not gonna compromise on him checking up on you. Because what if something happened to you? What if you're in a coma? What if you need him? What if, how's he, Meanwhile, he was sleeping soundly, not knowing what you're doing today, not knowing if you're still alive today. Let's think about this. But he says he loves you. Can you share some examples of things that felt hard to manifest, then you ended up pushing through? I don't know if I feel like hard to manifest or I just felt they were impossible to they're like, I have a video and again, this is a story from university where I didn't know, like I had an assignment that was 60% of my mark and it was a very technical exam and I didn't know where to start or what to go. And I really just didn't know. And it happened that the exact answers to that materialized physically in front of me 2 days later via a set of circumstances that was pretty unbelievable. So what had happened is I was called to the general administration office of the university and asked, I had volunteered there the summer before, I was asked if I wouldn't mind coming and shredding a room full of papers. And I said, yeah, sure, I will, completely unrelated. And on the first pile of papers to be shredded were the answers to that exam, to the thing that I didn't even know how to start. Like, you have to understand, if they weren't on the first pile, if they were somewhere in the middle there, this was like, I had done like, I don't know, 6 hours of shredding. So, when you don't know the how, but you kind of, in that not knowing the how, you kind of like liberate it from the fact that you don't know how it's going to happen. Another thing that happened is, my house. Yeah, I didn't have the down payment for it, and via a set of circumstances and things I didn't even like work on to make them happen. I got a phone call. It wasn't somebody I knew. We were like, I talked to my business partner. We're like, should we work with these guys? We don't know them. All in all, like 6 months later, I got paid enough money to have the down payment for the house. So again, it seemed impossible at the time. I'm like, how, because I know what money's coming in and out and I know, But when you're saying things that seem hard to manifest, don't think of things that are hard or easy to manifest or things like this. Just let go of the how. Just stay focused on what you want and let go of the how. Completely let go of that. Just focus on you. Just focus. That's why I said do the 60-day challenge in my bio. Do these things that are just work on yourself. Without wanting, without desiring, without wanting creates more wanting. And desire just creates more desire. But what you need to manifest is an inner change inside of you. You need to see yourself. I know I don't talk too much about the law of assumption. Now, the reason I don't talk too much about the law of assumption is because the law of assumption is very hard for the majority of people. It's very hard to assume the identity of the person that has the things you want, or the identity, because how can I assume I'm happily married and there's a man who's protector, provider, prioritizer, if my self-image and my self-worth is in the gutter after 3 or 4 failed relationships where the guys cheated on me and rejected me, and somebody comes here and says, oh yeah, it's just assume that you have this husband. How can I? It's not, it sounds so simple, but you can't. You can't just assume. All of a sudden, after you've been rejected, like 5 of your relationships didn't work out, now I'm just going to assume that I'm loved and somebody is there to commit. Do you know what I mean? It's just, you're so far away from that assumption that it can't be done. But you can play with the law of assumption with small things, just so you can prove to yourself that it works. But you no longer have to, because by now it's working, right? But I would say concentrate on effectuating the inner changes without the desire to have that outcome for the beginning, because most people are damaged by past experiences, by past thoughts, by the ideas that were given in our education system, in society, the ideas that money is hard to make. They pull you in school in the guidance counselor's office, and they tell you, these are the jobs that pay well. What do you want to be? If you want to get paid well, you're going to be A, B, C, or D. Which one is it going to be, right? They don't really say, where are you inclined towards? They'll be like, well, your math is bad and your this is bad. But they don't really, the education system is not tailored to discover your talents. It's tailored to fit you into a mold. They tell you which job to have. And so if you're an ambitious person, you're going to go to the jobs, doctor, lawyer, accountant. You're going to fit in there. You're going to make this money, but work is going to feel like work because you're not leading with your heart. It's not your passion. When you're not leading with your heart, it's like there will be a mind-heart incoherence. And when you have this, when the mind and heart is not coherent, right? Because the heart can't make decisions, but it intuitively knows what's good for you and what you want, right? But the mind many times makes decisions without the heart, because it says, ignore what you like to do, because look, the high paying jobs are doctor, lawyer, accountant. If you don't want to work, if you want to be with a man with money, you better be with an old guy that you have no feelings for. Whatever it is, the societal system. And you got to understand, you're damaged by these beliefs. Whether you want to admit it or not, you are, right? Whether you want to admit it or not, seeing your parents having always been on a budget is damaging to you. It's created a lack consciousness in you, right? Even if you are making money. Now all of a sudden you're like, well, what happens if I don't make money, if I run out of money? And the moment you start to have these thoughts over and over, it's going to manifest in your life in one way or another. So that's the problem. It's a loop. Even when you escape the loop, these beliefs that you have, that you've observed, everything you've observed, internalized, accepted, agreed upon, consciously or subconsciously, they're all going to manifest. This is how also people, they can manifest something good, but then lose it. This is why the lottery winners, the majority of them, lose all their money as well, right? Believing that an SP can get married even if you do the work is damaging belief too. No, because when you're doing the work, you don't have to think of what he's going to do. You see, Queen, this is the idea. You only have to think about what you are going to do. And if you keep the SP, by the way, the SP can drop dead tomorrow, right? He can have a tragic accident, knock on wood. Anything can happen that may separate you from your SP. that you're not, there's a randomness to life. You're not in control of everything because you're doing this work. You can't think that highly, like that's all ego, right? You're not God. Anything can happen to him or to you, or you know what, but if you keep your mind on the outcome, and the outcome is I want a happy family life with a man that I love, who loves me back. That's all. Now your SP might fold right into that assumption, or he might not. And yes, this is the truth. I'm telling you like it is. Maybe you guys want to listen more on the repetitive whisper method. You can whisper. That works, by the way. I told you, it does work. If you're good at it, if you catch his consciousness at a lower point, he's between sleep and reality, you catch his consciousness, you're going to whisper in his ear. You're going to put an idea in his head. He's going to play out that idea by driving in front of your house and missing you. And what? This doesn't mean he's going to offer you a family life. 2 months later, he'd be gone again for the same reasons he was gone the first time. That's the thing. That's the question, right? You have to, there can't be any ego or desire in this. Don't objectify the SP. The SP is not an object that you say, I'm going to take him and put him here in my life. The SP is a consciousness. He's a consciousness and an energy system of his own. Do you do energy work? Yeah, but not for other people. I actually work with an energy person as well, like in person. This person's not online, but she's an older, very, very experienced energy worker that I do work personally with. So I don't do it on others, but I do energy work on myself to reset myself, and I always feel it. How do you understand that you have transformed your limiting beliefs? Your dreams will change. Okay, it's very important you dream in this work. Your 3D will respond differently than it did before. And very importantly, to observe other people's reaction. Other people will react differently to you. And we have people in our group. For example, a queen left this comment in our group. They were talking to each other on some comments. And at the end of all my lives, I do this tapping with I am a winner, right? So she was set to win the lottery. And we always win like $20, $50. You know, I won $50 today. I have mine on automatic. It just draws. And I'm always ahead, by the way, but not for like huge amounts. And this queen said something along the lines like, I was manifesting $5, $10, $20. And then I decided I am a winner. I am a winner and I'm going to win something significant. So then she manifested and she posted in a group. She manifested something more significant, a few $100s. And she basically said to herself, it's because in that second I realized I no longer have this limiting beliefs that, you know, every ticket I'm gonna buy is a waste of money. I just decided differently, but it took months to click, right? It's just one decision. And when you decide that, something different in your reality is going to happen. And it was the first time in her life that she won something like that. You know, all her wins up to then were like $5, $10. So that's how you know there are signs. And remember, Neville said, signs follow. They do not precede. They do not precede, contrary to popular belief. They follow. So things have to feel differently in your life. Your dreams are very important. I was talking about dreams in the beginning of this live. If you didn't catch it, all my lives are posted on YouTube within 24 hours of the live, if you want to watch it later. And all my lives are educational. I talk on specific topics. By the way, for good dreams, for meaningful dreams, sometimes they're bad dreams, but they're meaningful, do not eat 3 to 4 hours before bed. It's very important. Digestion is one of the biggest, it's the biggest energy consumption of both physical energy and etherical energy. So do not eat, I want to say 4 hours before you lie down in bed. Okay? If your body is busy digesting, your dreams may not have meaning. My dreams are so chaotic, always lots of them. Do not eat 5 hours in your case before bed. See if this changes something. Right? If you go to bed at 11, have your last meal at 6 o'clock. I don't know, something like this. Then before you go to bed, talk to the universe. Say, I need guidance in my dream. I need you to talk to me. Show me the most prominent thing that's in my subconscious now. Here's my goal slide. You're thinking of your goal slide, whether it's your wedding day or you want a baby, you want to live in a nice house. Don't think of a sum of money. Okay? You want to visit another country, have your goal slide. And ask the universe, ask your subconscious, What is the fastest way that I can get from where I am now to this image? Show me. I want, please, I don't understand. I need guidance for the next step. Speak to the universe, okay? And then go to sleep in the knowing that it will. Do not eat before bed. Do not snack. Do not. I enjoy your wisdom. Thank you. What if I feel like there are unwanted entities in my dream? Ask them what they want. You must get to a point, and you will eventually, if you practice this, where there's entities in your dream. Those are your guides. I have a guide that's always in my dreams when I dream of guides, and he's fairly ugly. And all, like, when I was a child, I used to think he's evil, but now I realize maybe that's just what they look like. You know, ask them, like, with wisdom and maturity. Go in the dream being like, this is my space. I need to understand what I'm being told, good or bad. I need to understand if there's anything I need to clear. Show me. Oh, Sherry got $75 a few minutes ago. Manifested it now. Happy Thanksgiving, Erin. I'm happy. Yeah, things are going well for you. I got your email from yesterday. How do you know when your manifestation is near? You know what? Contrary to popular belief, signs followed, they do not precede. And how do you know it's near? You can only know it by having, if you want it to happen faster, have this feeling of certainty. Increase the certainty. This is what is called the gut feeling that you're talking about. You need to increase the certainty and that fate of fates that it's near, and it will unfold. But to know exactly when it's going to happen, you will never know. If somebody tells you otherwise, you can scratch that person. They don't know when it's going to happen. You don't know. Only infinite intelligence know. Oh, I want to say that I'm very pretty. Thank you so much, guys. No compliments necessary, but I appreciate you guys having a good word. Is manifestation connected to energy? Of course. Okay, I think I'm all caught up. Physical beauty and confidence. So let's talk on the body for next life, because I feel like we haven't talked on the body in a long time. One thing I'm going to leave you with, because I'm past the time now, but one thing I'm going to leave you with is, do not say I'm losing weight. I need to lose weight. I'm about to lose weight. Okay? Because in this statement, there is a statement to your body that there's something wrong with it. Okay? In your imagination, you see your body, and when you look in the mirror, even if you can do it with your eyes open and you look in the mirror, you see your defined body the way you want, the way whatever beauty is to you. You know, I remember when beauty was a very small butt. Now it's like a very big butt. So the definition of beauty is very personal, and it changes all the time. So whatever that definition is to you, see it in the mirror and keep steady on that. By the way, I don't know if you guys know, but I set my weight to a specific weight, and every 2 months I post an update on how I'm still that exact weight as to the decimal point. That's not hard to do, but I never told my body I need to lose weight. Don't tell your body something wrong with it. Just tell it the image that you want to see when you step on the scale in your current pedicure, and the image of yourself that you want to see in the mirror. That's what you're going to tell your body. And every time you see this clear in your mind, you're going to say, you're so beautiful, or I'm so beautiful, whichever way you like to speak. But I like to disconnect from the body, because I'm not my body. My body is something I have. So I tell my body, you're so beautiful, right? I'm speaking to the body. It's my vehicle, but it's not me. My consciousness is outside the body, right? And the mind is outside the body. Okay, 8:05, I keep my lives to 1 hour. Thank you so much for joining on Thanksgiving. And this live will be posted as normal on YouTube. This is the end of the live. I'll be back on Monday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. My lives are always at the same time. Monday, 12 p.m. and Thursday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to do 30 seconds of tapping at the end of every live with I am the winner affirmation, 369. Afterwards, we end and you put your phone away and stay with this feeling of I am a winner for like another minute or so, okay? Put your hands together if you want to participate. One breath. I am a winner. 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 I am a winner.